Welcome to Cap10 General. We'll do a book review now. This is a great book, Super Thinking, The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. I'm reading it at the moment. I'm part the way through it. I'm rereading bits of it just so that I get fully up to speed with it, and it's a very impressive book. You should definitely read it or listen to it. You can get the audio version. It's a brilliant book. Now, it mainly talks about this thing called myelin, or white matter, that's in your brain. It's a large part of your brain, and it basically helps to speed up the synapses, I suppose, and the neural connections that allow you to do things, because obviously all your physical movements are sort of preordained or commissioned in your brain, and then the nerve impulses sort of tell the muscles what to do. That's not a doctor's, that's not an expert's explanation, but it's as good as I can give you. But it turns out there's this stuff called myelin that helps you, and you can build it over time, and practice builds it, and specific types of what he calls deep practice and chunking even, I think, to perfect your actions, whatever your action you're trying to do, get the knack of, get in the habit of, or do professionally or competitively. So he talks about musicians, great musicians, about tennis players, all sorts of different people, students, whoever, just trying to perfect what they're doing and practice. And he says that greatness is grown, not born, and he's probably right about that, and he argues it very strongly. It's a very, very good book. Puts aside a lot of myths, really. So I strongly recommend you read it. One thing that I thought was very interesting was the fact that there's a machine called, I think it's the diffusion tensor imaging machine, the DTI, which allows doctors to look at your brain whilst you're still alive, rather than just studying a brain of someone who's passed on. What stunned me was that really only came in the late 90s or 2000, which is really only 20 years ago. And before that, they couldn't really see myelin or white matter so well. So it's really opened up understanding the brain, studying the brain, so on and so forth. And I suppose what's shocking for me is that, not to be derogatory, but what did psychologists and brain surgeons really know about the brain prior to that machine? Well, they knew a lot in absolute terms, but relative to what we know now, I suspect they knew a lot less. Now, you could say that about anything. Well, science is always developing, you learn more, so on and so forth. And that's true. That's true. But you then have to be mindful of the fact that it would be better for many scientists to accept that they probably will have a great deal more information and data and understanding in the future and the near future, and be less inclined to present what they have as the gospel truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because the reality is, and our dear friend Dr. Fauci says this, science is self-correcting. That's probably true, Anthony, old boy, but science at the moment, while it may be self-correcting, doesn't seem to be too humble or polite or prepared to accept that new data is just around the corner. So I think Super Thinking, very interesting book. It will explain a lot about talent, practice, how to get better at things, but also, from my point of view, a good reminder that we're still learning a lot about things like the human brain, which, hasten to add, is kind of important, and I think it is useful and behoves us all to bear in mind that we're still learning a lot, and to be mindful of